Gorge, this is Game 1 Blacklist International taking on Twisted Minds Casters. You're live.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the kickoff of the KIC at the Manila Bay Mall is going down now. Blacklist and Twisted Minds are underway for a fall series here.
Yep. Right now, it's all about pacing, right? We need to know how fast do you go, because Twisted Minds, they have a natural early game advantage. The only question here is, does Blacklist try to, reinforce the defenses in the jungle against the aggressive playstyle of Twisted Minds, or do they just try to make sure that they get the first blood instead?
Exactly. I mean, it could go two one ways, right? I feel like there's going to be a hyper focus into these side lanes that you're seeing right now. Top side of the map, obviously, Chami1 doing a lot of bullying here onto 90 rotations from, obviously, Dragon and Chaz coming up to just give him an aid. Because really what we want to be doing here, especially on 90's big pick Dharma, is just mitigating any kind of big impact that he can have.
Yeah, and you can start straight away see, right? The rotations coming up from Blacklist International has been a lot faster. Yes, City Boy is kind of helping clean to try and get the Azure buff, but for now, it's natural that Blacklist Joshi will have an advantage in the farm as well as the lane rotation.
Yeah, exactly. A much faster rotating hero, especially an early game aggressor onto the Agudo here. But I mean, looking at obviously a first optimization for Joshi here, going for the Giant Script, going for that more tankier build here, but now obviously maybe a dive, but just baiting them out with that more full tempo.
Yeah, that was kind of close. I thought he actually committed the flash there, but thankfully it is not an important resource they have burned at this point. So we'll see what they do, right? Everything about this game is how do you respond? So Twisted Minds, they've put 3 people on top, they've secured the space, right? They make that initial rotation down for the side of Clean. But Blacklist, they also do the same kind of movements. You actually get the initial wave clear by Joshi in the mid.
Exactly, but I mean, I think they have a bit of an upper hand here on the side of Blacklist, right? Obviously, Dragon on the Nua has the emergence. They can get up and down that gorge a lot quicker than the likes of the Shi.
Oh yeah, that's true. Shi is also someone that, puts yourself in a risky spot. It's a double-edged sword. You can get the catch, but you will be easily caught as well.
Exactly here. And I mean, they're just kind of just making sure that Shanks has a bit of an advantage here onto Golden Kite down to the bot side of the map. Obviously, he can get rid of those soaring signals with the Maple Dance as well, but what he cannot block is those Spirit Wolves.
Oh yes, that one is going to be quite the difficult situation to deal with, right? Because Arlie is a single target burst hero. That is the whole kit of the Ahri Parasolar. But with this pack leader on the channel itself, Shanks, he knows what to do. Right now it's about getting the stun. If anyone on the side of Twisted Minds can get that big stun on the Golden Kite, it might spell disaster for them.
It could do, but I mean, at the same time, the fact is that they have Chaz onto the U1 as well. He could be the saving grace, right? Using that more full tempo, just to kind of mitigate any kind of interaction or engage from the side of Twisted Minds onto that Parasolar.
I want to see what this first initiation will come and be like from both teams, right? Chami1 so far keeping pace in terms of farm and EXP alongside his, opponent 90 in that Dharma.
Yes, up to get in that space right down to the top side of the map means that rotation from Clean was very fast, very clean, as we're going to be heading into that 4-minute mark very soon. As you can see, big prio into this mid lane here. The pull, the secret press, and it's going to be the takedown onto Chaz, and now into the back line. It's going to be 90 with a pickup as well. That is a 2-0 trade here for the boys in Twisted Minds.
Yep, they are the one in control of their fates at this point. Twisted Minds, a big start to the game. This is going to net get them a 1,000 goal lead. Not the biggest of differences just yet, but we have seen what Twisted Minds can do with a goal lead. And so far, I was about to say, Twisted Minds, hey, nothing's happening yet. They haven't slowed down the side of Blacklist. But you know what? I didn't speak, and if I had, I would have spoken too soon.
You know what they say, if you say best when you say nothing at all, right? But then Twisted Minds comes through with that one. But I mean, we're talking about that gold lead being ever so slightly around about 1k. The thing that's really going to upset that is the takedown of this Tyrant. If Twisted Minds get this, it enhances that gold lead a little bit further, because that enhanced damage for temporarily here for the side of Twisted Minds.
Yeah, the thing now for Blacklist is, okay, how do you respond, right? Do you try and take a turret? Do you try to take a team fight? Which obviously, if you take a team fight now, not the best idea. It does work, but you need to have a miracle happen at this point, because the goal lead is still at about 1,000 for now, but it's going to start stretching a little bit further in, of course, advantage to Twisted Minds.
Yeah, Twisted Minds is trying to stretch Blacklist so like thin and wide here so far within this one. Obviously the nice hit with the cannon blast there, trying to get the fall onto Dragon, actually using those creation blocks to push them away here. And now Chami1 once again, I think like this is the way that Blacklist gets around Twisted Mind's draft. They just push them away rather than bringing them to them.
Yeah, the biggest thing here is that they're trying to force goal sharing. But right now, they get a nice setup from the side of Chance. It could spell end for the side of Twisted Minds. But now, look at what they're doing. Blacklist, on the bottom side, they've given absolute freedom to the side of Golden Kite. And you know he loves this kind of spaces. If they can make this defense at the top, it'll be great.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. 3v1 dive here, top side of the map. We use the emergency at 90. Is on the run, but that Chance gets a awful tempo. The stun comes through, and down goes 90, and they get the T1 into the bot side of the map.
Great recovery, and this is spelling good for the side of Blacklist. Now, goal lead is still close to about 1,000. Hang on!
Oh, we are speaking of any duel to the death without the Masashi and the Swordmaster.
Hey!
The Golden Kite comes through, claims a kill, but it's still going to be that 2-2 trade overall here for these two teams.
Yep, Twisted Minds, they always has an answer. But Twisted Minds for this one, I feel like they didn't take the biggest win because Blacklist, they got a T1 on the top. At the same time, if they get this Overlord without punishment, I think Blacklist will be able to recover quite a bit of that gold. In fact, take a look at it. That gold gap has absolutely been cut.
Yeah, it's actually no longer that 1k goal lead here for the side of Twisted Minds. It's definitely looking more of a few hundred here. Able to actually maintain and take away a little bit of that privilege down to the bot side of the map now. It's going to be Twisted Minds with that takedown thanks to Shanks.
Yeah, right now, you know what? I'm super curious about this sustenance that's coming out from Blacklist, right? Can they actually out-sustain the damage on the side of Twisted Minds? Because Twisted Minds, they have to commit quite a lot to get the catch.
Yeah.
And at this point, you know, City Boy, nice if he lands the Cannon Blast. But the most important formula is Hailang. He needs to land those Silky Imprints.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players don't think their shirt can have that damage output, but when you see at the end of the game, if Twisted Mind takes this one, you're going to see a lot of damage going over to Hailang here in the carry position, but now obviously a bit of a barrage onto that T1 into the mid lane here for Blacklist, but a good defense by Twisted Mind.
Yeah, this one is great because not only did they defend the T1, they also got the T1 at the top. Now, this is going to be a very important marker for the side of Twisted Minds because we've seen the weaknesses of Blacklist International, which is the macro game, right?
Yeah.
If they can kind of fix that problem, then it's going to be a hard fight for the side of Twisted Minds. We haven't seen a full-blown 5v5 yet. And once again, Twisted Minds, now that everything is reset, it is reinstating that 1,000 goalie going to the side of TM.
They've done very well to recover it, right? They've definitely made the miles and stones and turning everything here for the side of Twisted Minds to get that goal lead. But nice catch here. Takedown thanks to 90 is going to be taking out that huge damage output for the side of Blacklist. That Dragon getting taken down.
Exactly what you expected out of Twisted Minds. They need to make sure they shut down Dragon. Every time he gets taken down, it's another timer put on top of this Blacklist International mid laner. Dragon, one of the two twins available here, looking to have a great stage, but so far it is all in the control of DM.
Look at this, a little bit of a pincer mover around that boar camp as well, looking to try and get that Silk Imprint onto Chaz, but he uses the unending sorrow to block that one. But now it's going to be an attempt here of 90. He's trying to get them into those walls, but no success so far. I mean, that movement by Champion 1 is very important, right? He want to make sure that he was in a very awkward spot because you can only choose one direction to use your ultimate, right? You can't catch everyone when they're in a circle. And with that being said, Blacklist, they try, but Twisted Minds, I wouldn't say have a vice grip, but this is a pretty strong hold. Oh, they definitely got him in a headlock, right? They are trying to get them to tap out into these long outdrawn team fights and these skirmishes here, as you can see, back into the mid lane. They're just looking for that stamina test onto the side of Blacklist.
I mean, we have to take a look at the itemization at this point, right? The biggest thing for me now is how sustaining Clean can be. He already has the Active Torment as well as the Protector Cura, so he has plenty of physical pierce, but also physical defense as well. And I feel like that's going to be a big difference maker here.
Oh, absolutely. A big difference maker for the side of Twisted Minds in terms of that, but there's the ultimate through here for sure. He is able to go in with a multiple tempo. They get the takedown on the City Boy. Big crucial engage come through, top side, behind enemy lines. 90 gets taken down. Blacklist are looking for a brawl.
Yeah, that's a great answer if you've seen one. Blacklist International finding ways to come back into the game. Yes, it is just City Boy to start, but 90, that's a very important clash lane on the side of TM, and once it's down, there is very little they can do to force a comeback fight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you've got rid of those two kind of a crucial team fight setups here, on the side of Twisted Minds, you've now really got to rely on here Hailang or even Clean maybe to put that duel to the death.
Yep, look at this rotation. Champion 1 is consistently following Joshi. And I feel like having Joshi on board this duo is a great answer, because if there is a situation that Joshi feels in danger, Champion 1 is that support that kind of pushes them back, or maybe even pulls the members of TM deeper into the grave.
Exactly. It depends on how how popular or how confident they feel going into that team fight, right? Do they have the angle? Do they have the right take here? But speaking of getting taken down, to give that Crimson Golden to the top side of Blacklist here. Really trying to funnel over some extra damage onto Golden Kai.
Yeah, it's very important, right? Because he's one of the biggest slippery eels on the side of Blacklist International. And look, Dragon already has the Tome of Wisdom at the 10-minute mark. This is one of the most important objectives in the game, the Shadow Tyrant. This is going to be massive value for whoever takes it.
I mean, you can already see it is massive value, right? You have two teams crowding around here. We have the Radiance being procced here, trying to get a bit of vision onto the side of Twisted Minds, but it's actually going to be used to a bit of a unusefulness here that now we are seeing Blacklist trying to start the Shadow Tyrant.
It's all about buying time, right? Blacklist, they make that very smart decision to clear the wave in the mid, so you have to get the rotations in.
Yeah.
Right now, it's going to be an unfair fight, right? Because not the entire team is here, but here we go one-on-one.
There we go, there's 90 trying to get the knockdown onto Chaz, but Chaz is now into it. Champion 1 gets to take that up the Highline. They get the Tyrant. 90 and Clean go down. Shax goes down as well. We have minion waves in the mid, bot side of the map, ace for Blacklist.
This is the Blacklist we're looking for. What a time to hit it as well. Right at the 11-minute mark, T2s are being taken down. There are 15 seconds left on the side of Twisted Minds. Can they finish? I think not.
No, I mean, they have the critters, right? When you have the critters, you don't need the minion waves, but now we have a 5-second timer on Highlang. Is it going to be enough here? But Blacklist with an 11-minute and 20 seconds win takes Twisted Minds.
That is a big stop. Blacklist International. What a way to start this video 7.